Hello and welcome back to my garage here in Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. I have kind of a full house here, but some of this stuff you all may remember having seen before. I have the two Mercedes 300 SLs here and the Pagoda model 260, I think it is, 280. Yeah, that thing. So I have these here. They're all cosmetically fixed up at this point. I haven't done any other work on them. I have noticed that I like that the interior trim in there is the same color as the body of the car. So if you paint the car some other color, that trim piece in there will be the same color. The same thing happens with this one here. You see the red trim there on the dash? That's also the same color as the body when you paint the car, which I think is cool. I have a couple of cars here to get rid of. This is one you saw me buy in the junkyard. This is the McLaren P1. The first one of these I found, I rebuilt and kept. And then I found this one shortly thereafter. So this one is done, and I can sell it. And this one is like $1.1 million. And then the one behind me, this is an Aston Martin DB5, which I found in the junkyard. I made another trip out there hoping to find a Bentley T-Series. Didn't find one. But I did buy this DB5, and I kind of have decided I'm not buying any more cars until I whittle down the backlog I have in my parking more. Unless I find a car that I really like this car, or possibly a Porsche 959. But this one is just over $1 million. So yeah, that's 2.1 million, 2.1 million or so in those two cars, and that gives me some space to work with. So I want to go to the junkyard real quick and look for hopefully a Bentley T-Series or the other Mercedes. If I don't find either of them, I'm not going to buy anything else. Okay, here we are. And that's... I actually think I bought a few of these. This is like that 911 GT2. This is a mod, and this is a good mod. It's based off the Porsche DLC. But I think I bought like 3 of these already in my hunt for the Mercedeses. That's a DLC Ford Mustang. I may have to pick that one up. I have at least 2 more of those in the parking. Maybe I can pull them out and do a nice 3-peat on them. That's a Jeep. Is this the civilian? Yeah, I got one of those. And this is that mod. No, this is Spectre. I always have to remember to look. If you look in the dashboard in there and you see that wood paneling, then you know it's the Spectre. This is a Carrera GT, which is a really good car. But I don't want to buy... And this is a 65. I have one of those. Is that another Diablo or Murcielago? No, it's a Diablo. I want to get a Diablo to keep, but I don't want to buy another one. I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to buy the Mustang, and then I'll bang out 3 of them at once. I'll just stick this one in the parking. Not in the parking. No, I'm not putting anything else in the parking. And I actually think I have another Carrera GT in my parking already that I bought. It's too much money to leave laying here, so I guess I'm going to go ahead and buy it. Okay, that's everything here that's worth buying at this point. So we're going to head back. Okie doke. So what I want to do is do this car, because I really want to see what the engine looks like with the performance pieces in it. I also want to, because the first one of these I did, I think I messed up the size of the tires. because it just didn't look right when it was done. And this one, I'm going to be more careful to make sure that the tire sizes are correct. I was kind of noodling with the idea of just doing the engine and then doing the rest of it later. But I think I'll go ahead and do it all right now, since this is the come out of there, yeah. This is the leaf spring rear end, so it's not complex. And I did all the simple stuff already. The fuel tank is, I mean, you can see there that the exhaust pipe is new, and the fuel tank and all that stuff is done. I like how that engine block is 100%. It's got all this rusted stuff bolted onto it, but the engine block itself is perfectly fine. I have been noodling with the idea of doing a live stream, like on Saturday or Sunday maybe, and I'll pull out a whole bunch of the cars that are in my parking and just knock them all out, because that will take a few hours to do if I work on 3 or 4 or 5 cars at once. But it'll just give me a reason to work on them, because honestly I'm daunted by how many cars I bought. I bought so many cars, and I have managed to get 8 of them. Oops. I've managed to get 8 of them done and out. The 2 cars that I sold when I started just now were not in that batch. They were ones that I bought the last time I went looking for the Bentley. And I'm still looking at the 6 or 7 pages worth of junk cars that I bought, and trying to decide how badly I want to get carpal tunnel working on them. The biggest batch, I think, I bought like 5, maybe 6 Plymouth Roadrunners, so that would be a nice one to do. Pull them all out and do them all. I also bought like 6 Bugatti Chirons, and that's about $12 million worth of car if I do them all. And I hesitate to. Part of me doesn't want to work on them because I'm tired of working on that particular car, but I also don't want to throw away $12 million. I have like 2, I think, Veyrons, the Bugatti Veyrons, which are not quite as complex as the Chiron. They're also not quite as valuable, but I could knock those out as well. I also got a mess of other cars. I got like 5 or 6 variations of the Shelby GT350, and I got the Mustangs, the DLC Ford Mustangs. I actually did get 2 Jeep Wranglers, which I want to do for the channel, because I haven't done one of those for the channel before. But the vast majority of cars I got were cars I have done multiple times, and I just bought them because I know that they build out and they're nice and valuable. Okay, I need to process my way through this stuff now. $14 bushings. And a nice full set of disc brakes. And we'll get the clutch and the drive shaft. I'll hang on to that for the moment. Yeah, I got the right transmission. Just wanted to make sure. So let's clear out this stuff. Shock B and the springs. Double wishbone for the front. So I need rear wheel hub 3. Get rid of the tie rods and the rack and the sway bar stuff. Get rid of all the leaf spring stuff. Stuff? Yeah. What does that leave us with? Suspension arms. Most of this stuff is red. Front B. That should take us down to the knuckles. Knuckle C, knuckle B. I probably could have repaired some of that stuff, or even a lot of it. Front axle knuckle cover, coil spring, drive axle. Okay, let's take a look at these rims. I think they're all pretty poor. So this Pagoda 14. I want to paint them anyway. Yeah, those are 14. That's 3. And that's 4. Hopefully that is all of them. And I think that's like vintage tire B or something. Or vintage tire C. Yeah, I think it's that one. Or is it that one? I think it's vintage tire A. Yeah, it's that one. I'm not a fan of the white wall tires, but I think they'll look a bit more normal than the other ones were. 185/80/14. That's a workshop expansion I would like to have. Like 4 tire balancing machines. Because I can mount 4 tires almost quickly. I mean, I can start one balancing and get 3 more mounted before the first one is done. So these are 185/80/14. 185/80/14, and I got the right tire. Okay, good. And actually this can go too now for $1,150. Good thing we repaired that. Okay, now we can put the running gear back together. Ooh, I know I sold all the brakes. I guess I didn't buy them. Yeah, I was kind of concerned that chroming the thing would like obliterate the Mercedes logo, but it still stands out. Yeah, that looks It looks much. I'm gonna have to refer back to that video and see if I screwed up the tire size, because that one I just put in there looks much more. Well, I mean, it looks better. I mean, I verified to be sure that it was correct before I mounted the tires. But it looks right. And the ones I did before didn't look right. Every now and then I lose track of my little white dot. And it's like, where the heck is it? And I swirl the mouse around like crazy trying to find it. Okay, that looks pretty good. I think it looks a lot better than it did than the last one I did. I even have a spare starter. I think I bought too many starters on the last batch of cars I worked on, so I have an extra one. And does this take the starter V8? It does not. So let's get that now, shall we? So the last one of these I did, we were only able to do like the generic performance parts, the spark plugs, the pistons, the coil, but now we have more performance parts available to us. So hopefully we should be able to get, I don't know how much more of an improvement, but we should be able to realize some advance on this one. I guess that comes out first. There we go. I just want to know if they have fixed this, because the last time I put on, like, I was short by 2 rocker arms, I think, when it prompted me to put on the head cover. And that shouldn't happen. So hopefully they have fixed that. I know they did some patching. There were a couple of patches that came out a couple days apart. So hopefully that will be resolved this time. What am I? Oh, I see it now. One of them rocker arms there. I love how that engine block is 100%. That's crazy. was an I4B, I think. I better check. I know that was a regular. No, it was an alternator I6B. Power steering pump I4. That's fine. The other alternator I bought, I will have a use for it soon. So that can go, and that can go, and the ignition stuff can go. Oh, there wasn't a distributor cap. So there's wires, manifold, head, camshaft, fuel injection. Excellent. Intake manifold. I'm sure I'll need that. There we go. So that means this can go away and this can go away. And let's see, the timing chain, the cam gear. Well, maybe we'll be able to repair that water pump. So how many of these caps are there? There's 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 rocker arms. Of course there's 12. I don't know what I'm thinking of here. Gonna need that oil pan. Gonna need a i6 oil filter. Probably gonna need that too. The one I saw in there was red. So let's see if we can reuse this water pump. No. I'm sure I'm going to need like crankshaft i6 pulley and a water pump pulley. Yeah, i6 and water pump pulley. Oh, and it just occurred to me there's going to be a belt. I'm sure there's going to be a belt. And there's 2, so that means maybe there's going to be, I don't know if there's going to be a roll. This is only the second one of these I've built, so cut me some slack. Fan B. Do I have a fuel filter? I do. I wasn't sure if I had one. Oh, I didn't buy the caps. I think I got myself sidetracked buying the the camshaft caps. And I forgot to buy the bearing caps and the rod caps. So I need 6 of those and 5 of those. They've got these weird oil pans that stick way down like that. Just seems like a bad idea to me. Run over the first rock in the roadway and bam, there goes all your oil. M186 throttle. This is not the store I want. Oh dear. No have. Throttle I6. No, okay, so they didn't give us a performance part for that one. Well, that thing sticks out like a sticks out like a sore thumb. I was looking forward to seeing what this thing looks like. I love the red. Spark plugs. I think the last time I put in the camshaft and the camshaft caps, and then I put in the rocker arms, and that was when it had me put on the head cover. So now I think what I'm going to do, I don't want to really try to recreate the same thing that happened before, because that was a pain in the butt. I'm just going to put these on now before I get the camshaft in, and so long as I do it in this order, I think it'll be okay. I don't have a, oh, there's one. There's another one. Jeez. I don't have a head cover, it occurs to me. So head cover, I need clips too. Okay, and that should do her. That's what it looks like with all performance parts put on it. I really like this thing. It's got a, I mean, the fuel injection is driven off of this same. There must be a shaft. There's obviously a shaft in there, and so it's driven off the timing. The ignition is as well, clearly. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. You watch, this is going to be one where I'm going to have to jack the car up put the transmission and stuff on, and then bring it back down to put the starter on. Yep. So exhaust manifold and starter both accessible from the engine bay. I shouldn't have to put it back up though, I don't think. This is neat, the way I liked how these things are like, the exhaust hole, the intake holes and the exhaust holes are here. They're both on the same side. These manifolds don't overlap the way the other engine does, but it's very intricate. That should be 100%. So let's see here. Yippers. So let's go ahead and dyno it now and see what sort of performance we can get out of it. I'm going to move this there. I don't really remember what the other one we did was just all stock, well, not all stock, but we were only able to do the generic performance parts, you know, the pistons and the spark plugs and the alternator. Since we have more performance parts available now, hopefully we should get a more impressive, we should get a better number here. 169, doubling it would be 8, 238, so, no, 338. So let's see if we can get close to 300. Well, can't expect a whole lot out of it. I mean, it's a 6-cylinder engine though, so it should have some if I could talk today, it should have some oomph behind it. I do like the way this interior trim piece, though, carries over. I do like the way the external color carries over to the interior. That's really nice. I like that a lot. And it's got sort of this wood paneling up here above the dash and on the center console. What do we got in the back here? I can't really see. Is there a seat in there? Not really a seat, more like a cargo space. You have, if you had a seat, you'd have to only put people back there that you don't like. Okay, let's drive it now. See if we get any improvement out of it. God, I got too many cars in here again. There we go. Okay, so here we go. It's not a particularly attractive car, but it is red. That always works for me. Hopefully these tires will keep us tracking relatively straight. No, we appear to be drifting. So weird going going down the track with nobody in it, though. They could at least put like a crash test dummy in there. Looks like 117 is a maximum speed. I like, if you notice, I like that the brake lights come on when I go to stop out here. It's the only time you ever see that, I think. So 117 miles an hour. It's not exciting, but not terrible, I guess. Okay, so now let's see how much this thing is worth. I imagine not a lot. So it looks like 74 grand. 75 grand probably. Boy, that's really well, this is probably the last one of these I'm going to work on. It's just not really worth the effort, and it's not even that attractive a car unless it's something that you're into. So $75,000 gone. Okay, so the next one I need, the next thing I want to do is, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to complete one of these things and get rid of it, and then next time I will do the engine on the other one so that we can see what it's like fully done up with performance parts, since we didn't have that the first time. But I'm not going to make, well, I'm not, maybe I will, who knows. Since these are not particularly complicated to do, at least, or the chassis at least. It's got the same rear end as the other one did. You do notice, you can notice that the I do recall from the one that I did the first time that since there weren't any performance parts, we just had to use the stock exhaust pieces. And these are, you can see that these are shiny pieces, so at least we have performance exhausts to go with the rest of it. I think these cars are just too old, though, to get a lot of performance out of them, no matter what you do with them. This one doesn't even have a specialized transmission, it's just the i4 RWD. So, I mean, there's not a whole lot you can do to make these hot rods. And I think I read somewhere that this 300 was like the fastest car, that was the fastest production car of its day, which seems kind of, so I'd have to look at it in more detail. I'm not really familiar with the history of the car and what else was out at the same time. That seems like hyperbole to me. So what I'm going to do, though, I mean, I'm going to keep looking. I still need to find the Bentley T-Series, because I want to do one of those with the new parts. Because I did do a Bentley T-Series quite a while ago, and it was the same as these cars, where all you really had were the generic performance parts, the spark plugs and the pistons. And since they actually have T-Series performance pieces now, I want to see what it's like with that, but I haven't, as yet, been lucky enough to find one. There were two, I did find two of them in the auction house, but for some reason the game has been really laggy when I go into the auction house, and even though I sat there and spammed the mouse button, I wasn't able to buy either one of those cars. It just hung and hung. I mean, it got really jerky, and the frame rate dropped to nothing, and I don't know. So for whatever reason, I wasn't able to buy those cars. So I think my only hope, I mean, I'll keep trying. My only hope, I think, is going to be to find one in the junkyard, which I prefer to do anyway. It's more fun for me to rebuild them from rust buckets into something pristine. Plus the Mercedes SLS. I was sure I had one of those. I mean, I swear I bought one. I can't figure out why I don't have one, unless I just hallucinated buying it. Yeah, the chassis on these is pretty simple. I think it's the same. I think it might even be the same as the other one. Is that crossmember B? No, it's crossmember C. So that engine block is not nice and pristine like the other one was. What about this car? Nope, rusty. So again, 14 bushings, and this time we'll remember to buy the brakes. I wish that thing would stay in. I wish that thing would stay there instead of changing every time I come back. Sorting by condition is easier for me. Okay, and the hub's the same as the other one. I think it had this. It's got the same coil spring rear end. That drive shaft is 38. We'll try to repair that. And that was I4RWD. Okay, that can go, and that can go. So what are we down to? Shock stuff. And the sway bars, that was front sway link B. The other car was just the front sway link. So that's, okay, so this is the only stuff that's potentially repairable. Let's try doing that. Something failed. I saw it, I didn't catch what it was. Oh, bummer, didn't get to repair that. So two front, let's see, front and rear knuckle. crossmember C and front axle knuckle cover. And these wheels look like they might potentially be usable, so let's go ahead and dismount these and hopefully we can repair them. So far so good. There was like a 33 and a 22 and a 29. 7. Not gonna get that one. So we were able to repair 3 of the rims. So that's 300 SL 16. And those tires, I don't think I'm going to use those. 185 75 16. Okay, 185 75 16. Got the right size. Okay, now we're going to chrome these out as well. And you can always tell the repaired parts always come out like this. 0, 0, 0. And you have to bang that up. Whoops. And the one that I bought new is going to be brightness 100 already. And there it is. I like to run under the car. Even though that's a horrible safety violation, I like running under the car that way. Still have 2 more tires to balance. Oh, it's done over there. I can see the hood is up. just noticed you can see the tubular frame under here. It's interesting. I didn't notice that before. It's too bad that the Mercedes logo doesn't stand out on this one the way it did on the other tire. With the rim chromed like that, it washes out the Mercedes logo, which isn't really what I wanted to see happen. Okay, so that's what that looks like, all cosmetically fixed up. Got to keep that drive shaft. I've got some excess bits here. Did I buy extras of those? I don't need this for anything. I might need that. No, I don't. This is the M186. So I think I may have bought extra. Yeah, I did. That's fine. I'll use them on the other car. So that's what that looks like. All. What am I keep getting hung up on that toolbox right there. I'd pay money to get rid of to be able to move that somewhere. So it's this is what it looks like, all cosmetically fixed up. $62,000 right now. We'll see what it's like when the engine is done, but that will be for later. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here, because I think I've about exhausted the possibilities of working on the Mercedes cars at this point. So, on that note, let's see, I've messed up my ending. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope to see you again for our next Junkyard adventure. So on that note, bye for now.